Well, this is a rare opportunity for me getting to talk to the author of a white paper. Not even sure I had a lot of exposure before this, but as Tanner with Farm for Profit, excited to talk to Dr. John Murphy here with AgXplore, the director of agronomy and apparently an author as well. So we're going to dive into your white paper on the importance of emergence and
Yeah,
vigor and the study that y'all did with that.
yeah, definitely. When we think about how we estimate yields at the end of the year, and you guys spent some summer and used to be in the banking industry, so you understand the significance. We want to kind of get an idea of where are we. And that first number, no matter what crop it is, it can be corn, soybeans, wheat, right? It can be cotton, rice, is always how many plants per acre. And I always, when I used to teach, we had that yield component analysis, and we never get to go back and fix that, or we get to go back and change that number. So when we think about putting programs together and we think about products, that's the first point that we have to really impact yield. And so that's why we went through and we did this study. And we chose to do one in a little bit different area. This was done down in Arizona.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was done in cotton in Arizona because we wanted to show how our products will work across that whole spectrum. Sometimes we kind of put ourselves in this corn, soybean, wheat, but when we use agronomics, it works across all crops.
So what did you discover as you went through the study and counted to stand?
Yeah. So we went through and we did 6 replications because I always think it's important that we replicate, right? We can make something work once all the time, but doing it 6 different times, what we looked at was just changing one variable, right? We wanted to keep it simple.
Yep.
So we simply did upward and we chose to not do upward. And we did it side by side fields. And what we found over 6 replications is that we averaged 2,500 more plants per acre when we put upward versus when we didn't utilize upward. I'll be honest with you, that's a big number when we're thinking about establishing yield.
Yeah, when you look at the charts in the paper, it's
Yeah.
a very stark difference.
Yes.
So what does that mean then as far as having that uniform emergence and
Yep.
having the more plants per acre? What does that do to potential?
Yeah, and so that's what builds all of our potential, right? We like to talk about using other foliars and other PGRs down the road, but let's be honest, that 2,500 plants right there is a substantial amount of yield. And so when we think about building it, we've got to start with that solid foundation if we want to capture that yield and have success at the end of the year.
Yeah, so something that I read in there is you talk about solid agronomics gives real economics.
Yeah.
It's so clear to see what the ROI is here on Upward.
It is. And I love that we get to talk about that, right? Because if we can make changes or we can make recommendations that are based in science, that's where the value comes. I mean, I look at you, you spent time in banking, you farm right now. I can make a recommendation one year, but if it's not based on anything, it doesn't work, you'll never come back to me. And so I love that. And it's kind of become our mantra, right? Solid agronomics is real economics.
Is that why these white papers are so important to AgX and what you guys are putting together?
They are. It really tells our entire story, right? We could take upward and stay on it, but it's the entire story of how do we drive success for year after year. And I mean, I look at my own family. I want to pass my farm on to my sons. The only way that happens is if we drive success every single year. Otherwise, we're playing with people's livelihoods.
Well, it's important to have these types of studies to be able to back up the facts that you're sharing with everybody, but then also provide those resources for you to go check those out. So make sure you hit the link in this video to go find the rest of this paper and discussion, as well as the other research that AgX has been putting together. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you.